Yeah, I think that really leads in well to like, what are the biggest mistakes that you see traders make in your community, but also outside your community?
Yeah, so basically the number one mistake that takes people out of this game, whether they're DCA type or they're trading type or whatever, is that they use too much leverage and they're trying to make too much money too quick. And they also have like a small account. So I teach people also to DCA. Like DCAing is part of our strategy. It's just like we DCA, it's like the base level thing that you do. And then you also swing trade on top of that. We also rotate through altcoins at the right time because we're trying to outperform the market. So like the HODL strategy, it works, but the problem with the HODL strategy is like, if you don't know how to trade, how do you know when to sell? If you don't understand macroeconomics, how can you sell the all-time high? Like, I'm not sure if you guys know, but I posted 2 days after the all-time high was in and alerted all my group and all my members. And a lot of the guys are now millionaires and some multi-millionaires in the group. I'm not claiming it was just all me, but because I alerted, hey, everybody, this looks like it's probably the all-time high on Bitcoin, and then a few days later on Ethereum. And a few of them have even said, we've got the screenshots, by the way.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Have even said, hey, thanks for sharing that ETH top call because I sold my bag. And instead of round tripping, I've now turned that into a 7-figure account from 10K in 2018. So knowing how to trade and understanding macro enables you to sell your DCA bags at the right time. If you've got a couple $100,000 you've been DCAing for a while, instead of just round tripping all your altcoins, because altcoins a lot of the time, they don't bounce again. They only have one cycle, most of them. And then also you don't want to be rotating, holding Bitcoin from 16K to maybe 250K all the way back down to 80K again. Or, last cycle, 3K to 69K back to 16, when you can sell, triple your bag on the way down. And the next time you go back up. That's how we're printing millionaires in our group, because playing and understanding those cycles and selling at the right time is probably the most important thing.
Yeah, I guess talking about cycles is probably a good time to talk about where we are in the cycle right now. Obviously, we've had a huge run, Bitcoin all-time high, 100K, but only really a few old 2017 memes or 2017 old coins coming back. So where do you think we are right now? What things should we be looking at for the next few months?
Particularly trends, I think.
Particularly trends, yeah.
Yeah. So like for me, the main trend that people need to be looking at is more macroeconomic stuff, because that's going to decide, okay, if Bitcoin this cycle ends up going to 500K or if it tops out at 150, it's all going to be down to what the Federal Reserve does. Okay, how quickly do they start lowering interest rates? The other main trends are going to be like, okay, do they end up passing the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve? I think very likely is going to happen. What Howard Lutnick does when he gets in power, well, he's already in power, but when they start getting the Sovereign Wealth Fund up and running. And then the next steps, which is what happens with Jerome Powell at the Federal Reserve. When his term is due, I think in June or July, Trump's going to put somebody in who basically is going to do whatever he says, let's be honest, which is going to be lower interest rates, weaken the dollar. So the main thing I think people need to watch, if you're just on TradingView, just get up the DXY chart. When DXY is in a downtrend, that means global liquidity is going up.
Just for the listeners, what's the DXY and TradingView?
Okay, guys, number one thing, if you want to make money out of crypto, you have to be on TradingView. Get a TradingView account. You can get a free account, right? But yeah, for the guys that are a little bit more advanced, they want to look at this sort of data and actually be able to predict, hey, altcoins are going to start running here. I need to be following up on altcoins. The things you need to be looking at is the DXY, which is the US dollar strength. So when the US dollar becomes weaker, which is what Trump wants to do, because that boosts exports in the US, right? It helps US business. And he did the same thing in 2017. And that's why we had the amazing, probably one of the best bull runs of all time.
That was so fun.
Across any industry, any bull run ever, right? So DXY down, ISM up is what you want to be looking for. So manufacturing getting stronger. And
you love the manufacturing one, don't you?
It's the key, mate.
That's the key. I've never heard that before. So that's that's alpha.
Are there any other tools or resources that you rely upon to stay ahead of the market that potentially our listeners could leverage apart from TradingView and some of these metrics that you've mentioned?
CoinGecko is really good just to look at market caps. I think one thing that a lot of people don't understand, especially when they're investing into coins that have been around for one cycle, a lot of the time they're like, oh, the price is really low. So when it goes back to all-time high, I'll make X amount. But it's been diluted a lot over that market cycle that it's been through by the team. And so there's a ridiculous amount more tokens in the ecosystem which are ready to be dumped and be sold off. So that coin's probably not going back to its all-time high. So unless something really significant has happened with the team has been using the money that they've been dumping into the market by liquidating the tokens that they have in their treasuries, been using that money to actually build something. So Solana is a great example. It went all the way up to 260, came back to $8, but then obviously they built massively, and then they had the whole meme coin phase and everything like that. So it was actually being used. So you need to be looking, okay, is my coin that's been liquidated by the team over the last cycle, can it possibly go back to all-time high or not? Because have that team actually done enough to bring value into that project, right? That's a massive one. So go into CoinGecko and look at the market cap versus the price. And that will, you look at those two charts, it will be very, very obvious. Token unlocks is a really good one as well to look at.
Yeah, we'll just talk to the audience. Token unlock is potentially a vesting period that comes to an end from VCs or projects themselves to fund themselves. And Solana has a couple coming up, right?
I think it's like 98% unlocked.
Okay. Yeah.
I'd have to double check.
You funny.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I heard saying that there's a couple $100 million tokens being unlocked.
Nah, that was, no. Because so if you go to tokenunlocks.com, you can just look at it for yourself. Yeah. So I actually did that. And I was like, hang on a second, I'm pretty sure this is all almost completely unlocked. Right. And so I went and jumped on and I'm like, that's like 98% unlocked.
There you go.
This is the problem with like crypto Twitter and stuff like that. There's so many people on there that just don't know what they're doing. And they've been around since the early days and they all got huge followings because maybe they got lucky and maybe they have like a lot of Bitcoin or something like that from the early days. And they might be trading big size, but a lot of them like are always wrong. So I think the most important thing you need to do when you're thinking about who you're going to follow online is that they need to be consistently correct. And like without like, pull myself off or anything like that. Like I've been very correct for a long period of time. That's just something you can't fake.